Welcome to episode 89 of Timm Talk, the podcast about the DC animated universe co-created by Bruce Timm. I'm Chris Lord.
I'm Cameron Dexter.
And more Batman Beyond this week.
We did it. We did 2 episodes of Batman Beyond.
Look how much
we're
we've
about to take a
accomplished.
6-month break.
Yeah, we're just going to take a long hiatus.
Yep. We're going to talk about everything else.
It's mostly going to be a political podcast from this point on. Still the same name.
That's my favorite thing to talk about. Let's just turn it into like a Tim Curry podcast.
You know what? That's not a terrible idea. Well, actually, hang on. It's Tim with 2 M's, so it'd have to be like Tim and someone whose last name starts with M. Like Tim Minchin. We can do a podcast all about the great musical stylings of Tim Minchin.
Perfect.
Yeah. We could spend so much time talking about his guest appearances on Californication in season 6.
Oh, God damn it. For fans who don't understand Californication and Chris, when we first met, you either had just finished it or you were still in that world.
No, I just loved it that much.
You were plugging it so hard on every single person in improv.
Have you seen Californication?
I have now because you would talk about it constantly.
Wait, did you actually watch it?
I watched the first season.
Oh, okay. You got to watch through 4. You can skip 5, 6, and 7.
Okay. I'm not going to go back.
Yeah, so we'll do... It'll be a Tim Minchin podcast.
Perfect.
But yeah, we're talking about Ink and I guess Willie Watts / Golem this week. But first off, do we have news?
We have some news. I guess the big news we just missed it last week because it came out the day the podcast came out. We have our first LGBT actors playing a superhero.
Yes,
which is crazy.
Yeah, I know. We got Ruby Rose playing Batwoman on the Arrowverse / her spin-off show.
I was gonna ask if it was her own show.
Yeah, they've confirmed that she will be getting her own show. So
okay.
She'll start out kind of like they did with The Flash. They'll do like in Legends, they'll do like a soft intro. Mm-hmm. In Arrow, I think in the big crossover this year, which I think will take place in Gotham. I think is what I've heard, and then we'll pick up. Yeah, I mean, so there's so many questions to ask in terms of how fleshed out the world of Gotham itself will be. Will Maggie Sawyer, who I know they introduced in Supergirl, be making an appearance in Batwoman because they have a history together?
Well, it's different universes.
Different universes, but that I guess there could be a version of Maggie in that, or maybe she's like gets teleported through. Maybe they write her into some weird let's shoot her through.
It's a clone.
Let's shoot her through a wormhole, and she'll be in the Batwoman universe. But I was super excited for this. Actually,
yeah,
I mean,
it's super cool.
We've both seen John Wick 2. Ruby Rose is awesome in that.
Yeah, I was honestly surprised when I saw it because she's like a pretty big name movie star.
Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised too. Like it's not a step down, obviously, because she'll be starring in a TV show, which is absolutely huge.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
Oh, and sorry, let's also not forget her amazing role in Triple X.
I was going to say, I haven't seen Triple X3, so I can't speak to her amazingness in that.
Not quadruple. X9.
Oh, was she like the 9th? Wasn't that whole thing in that movie where they're all Triple X's?
Yeah.
Fucking A.
Yeah, that was it.
I don't want to get into it, but...
No, there was a great interview with her on Fallon.
Yes, I watched that. Yeah,
where he explained it just perfectly in the first sentence of "You're set for life now."
Yeah, she will be Batwoman for the rest of her life.
I know, and that's something I never thought about.
Yeah,
but that is her entire life from this point on. And it's kind of scary to think about.
I mean, it's a lot. I mean, it's a daunting thing. You hear a lot of these actors when they're considering this stuff, like Chris Evans talked about it a little bit. He went kind of back and forth and do I really want to do this? Do I want to be that guy forever?
Yeah.
And it's a lot to take on. But I mean, I'm really glad she took it on. I mean, I'm glad that it's, an LGBT character played by an LGBT actress who is both an out lesbian and I think she identifies as genderqueer or androgynous. I'm not sure. But the whole point is if anyone who's read the Batman comic or the Batwoman comics, which I have read kind of the definitive run on it, perfect casting.
Yeah.
Great character, great casting for it. I'm super excited for this. But the fucking internet, Cameron.
What's the internet saying, Chris? I haven't had much chance to
apparently
be on the internet this week.
And this is baffling to my goddamn brain. But apparently there was some backlash from the LGBT community that they didn't think she was out. And so as a result, they're like, oh, well, since she's not confirmed out, which she is, she shouldn't be playing this character. I was like, are you? And so it was this whole uproar, and she, at least temporarily, has like deleted her Twitter and was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. I mean, we know the internet will never be happy with anything.
I know. It's like, how can you, like, there's so many good things
it's
about
progress.
this.
Stop complaining about progress.
It's so much progress. It's so much more representation, and representation by the actual people it's trying to represent.
Yeah.
Can't we just be fucking happy?
Well, because how does the community feel about Kathy? Oh my god, I forgot every character in the Arrowverse. The sister, Laurel's sister.
Sarah Lance,
Yes.
Katie Cassidy is...
That's her name, yeah.
But is she... I think she's actually... Katie Cassidy is Laurel, not the sister, right?
I don't remember. I'm talking about Sarah.
Yeah, Sarah. I don't know.
She plays either bi or lesbian in the show.
She's bi. I think she's bi-leaning lesbian. I haven't watched Legends since season 1, even though I heard it got a lot better, but I couldn't.
Well, I just watched the crossover, and I remember, spoiler, but not really, she hooks up with Supergirl's sister. And that's like a subplot, is like, oh, well, like, I've never done this. I've never done a hookup before. What are the rules? Should I call her? And, like, while this is going on, there's, like, a supervillain on the other side of the city.
Yeah.
And it's like, can you, like, focus on
taking out that guy?
Yeah. And there's, like, the cute, awkward scene where they're all fighting the villain, and they, like, bump into each other. And they're like,
"Oh,
you haven't called." It's like, well, was I supposed to call? It's like, I don't know how this works.
It's adorable.
Yeah.
It's so adorable. I don't know how people feel about... I mean, I haven't heard any negative things about that character.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're all good. I just don't... Why do people have to suck, Cameron?
I don't know.
Like... I don't know.
The internet is such a fickle place where no one's happy ever.
No.
And that's the end of the story.
And then they make us unhappy.
Right.
And we rant about it.
To make
on
other
our
people
own
unhappy.
medium.
Yeah.
And they make other people unhappy. All I can say is I'm happy that the fans we have, both in terms of liking the podcast itself, but also just the general fan base of the DCU, seems to be comprised mostly of really lovely people.
That's good.
We haven't dealt with any assholes from it yet.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean we're the assholes?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Should have known.
Always. We're always the assholes.
We're always the assholes.
But yeah, I'm super excited. Do we have a date?
Not really. I mean, I think the crossover is going to be happening probably sometime in the late fall, winter. I think it's usually.
I feel like it's usually late October, early November.
Yeah, I think somewhere around there. So I mean, I'll probably end up watching it just because I love Batwoman as a character. I want to see how they introduce her, and then I might watch the show. Depends on how difficult CW makes it for me to watch their shit. I forget. But yeah, super excited for that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any other news?
I have nothing else.
I have some news.
What do you have?
So we got a new we got a photo first, then we got a teaser clip from Wreck-It Ralph 2 this week. Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Isn't it now just called Ralph Breaks the Internet?
Yes.
Okay.
But it's confirmed that Gal Gadot is going to be in the movie.
Love it.
Basically reprising her role from Fast and Furious.
Also love it.
Now just in animated form.
Love it even more.
Which is great. Like, you see the character, she's a racer.
Okay.
In the same like leather outfit with the same like sexy suave.
I'm going to look this up.
Yeah.
What was her character name in Fast and the Furious?
I don't remember.
How dare you? You're the Fast and the Furious fan here.
Yeah, fan, not expert.
Lovers, not experts.
Yes. She's been dead for 3 movies now, Chris.
Well, dead in that universe. We don't know what that means.
That's true.
Anyone can come back at this
she
point.
Could. I mean,
okay. Not anyone.
She could still be falling, for all we know. For as long as that runway was.
It
wouldn't be surprising if she just like was falling down a cliff for 3 movies.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking at her. All right, I like the look.
Mm-hmm.
Seems pretty cool. She's got a sweet leather jacket look going on.
Yep.
So she's in like a Need for Speed style racing game. It looks like, not the Mario Kart style that we saw in the first one. All on board. She looks great.
Yeah, I'm so curious about what this movie is going to be like, because I've only seen 2 or 3 clips, and they're really pushing. I don't know if this was so before this moment, we got a photo of Vanellope with all the princesses again.
Yes,
and
love
their
it.
like sleepwear and their pajamas.
Okay.
And all the Disney nerds were freaking out.
Was Sleeping Beauty's pajamas just a normal dress that she sleeps in all the time?
I don't think she was in the photo. I don't remember.
Because that'd be no,
she was just in like a half red, half blue, or half pink, half
Oh,
blue.
okay. So that'd be a very, very clever little bit if they did that.
Yeah.
I guess same for Snow White. Huh.
Well, Snow White had the poison apple tank top.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, and then like everyone was freaking out because Elsa was in a pullover that said "Just let it go," and that like I saw that and I'm like, "Fuck you! This is going to be everywhere at Disneyland."
Oh my god!
When
yes,
the movie
it
comes
is.
out. But we got that photo, and it just makes me wonder like how big a part the princesses are going to be in the movie, because I feel like it's just going to be a few minute scenes. But they're really pushing a lot of the advertising towards that.
I mean, that's fine.
Yeah.
Why not push it there? Like, it's got us excited for it.
It's got the whole community excited for it.
Yeah, I think why not push it? I mean, because, there's probably so much more to it than just that, but it's like, whatever.
Well, there's a whole character that's being introduced that I remember them talking about at D23 last year, one of which we haven't met yet. Sorry, two characters. One of which we haven't met yet. And the other one talks to Ralph. She's the character at the end of the first trailer where they're like, shouldn't it be Ralph Rex the internet?
Oh, yeah.
Like, she's supposed to be a major character in this movie. And, like, I don't think they've even said her name yet.
I mean,
I'm also excited about that because I do like not knowing
things. We have quite a bit of time before they're going to start pushing this a lot.
Yeah.
They have a lot of movies between now and then before they start really pushing this one.
Well, it's in November.
Yeah, no.
What else? Disney is coming up between now and then.
I actually don't know if something
I don't think-
I just assumed they had a lot between now and then.
I don't think anything. I think Ralph is the start of it because I think it goes Ralph
Really?
and then it's the Nutcracker and then it's Mary Poppins.
So excited for Mary Poppins.
And I guess Christopher Robin did just come out. So that's what they've been targeting most of.
Yeah.
Mostly two.
Um,
When is Nutcracker?
Nutcracker's December.
Okay, yeah, so it is Ralph, Nutcracker, Mary Poppins.
So okay. There you go.
And
I
then
guess
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
I give up trying to. Wait, no, hang on. I agree to Digital Spy, whatever the hell you want. Oh, yes, it is. It literally is next. Ralph Breaks the Internet. Well, I stand corrected.
Yeah, because it's always Thanksgiving weekend.
Christopher Robin, Ralph Breaks the Internet.
I've talked about Disney's amazingly punctual movie schedule, right? Have I talked about that on the podcast before?
Like punctual as in they're consistent year to year as to like what property comes out at what time of year.
Yes. So
like the animated film always comes out over Thanksgiving.
I think since what was it? Late 70s.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember which movie it was, but since the mid to late 70s, they have had a movie come out the exact same day every year since then. Like
the date or like the Friday of Thanksgiving or whatever.
It's one of two, and now it's both.
Okay.
Because once Pixar came in, it was now both.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always the third week of May.
Okay.
The third Friday of May, and then the third Friday of November.
That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
And you can I went back and looked at every single date just to check, and it is to a T.
You can set your calendars to their release schedule.
You can, and that's crazy.
That is pretty nuts, actually.
I remember when I was working on core memory stuff, we were trying to find like when we should promote movies, like if we should make a shirt for a movie anniversary. And I'm like, wow, they're all like a few days apart from each other.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, it's because it's the exact same day every year.
Consistency, Cameron.
Yeah.
Consistency is key.
That's how they win everything. And now, I guess we can talk about Oscar stuff.
What about Oscar stuff? Oh, right.
The new Disney Wants an Award category.
Right, yes. So good news is they're going to shorten down the telecast to a tight 3 hours by doing some technical categories during commercial breaks, like airing the highlights at the end. I'm not going to call it bad news. The bafflingly stupid news is the achievement in popularity.
In pop movie.
Yes. So I don't know what the hell that means. No one does. They didn't elaborate on what it means. They just announced that it exists. It's the dumbest thing.
Yeah. Because
I don't know anyone who thought this was a good idea. when I heard about it.
The people at the MTV Movie Awards, because they have that category, and the people at the Teen Choice Awards, because they have that category.
Well, that makes sense
for MTV,
for those awards shows, but it's like this is such a weird attempt for the Oscars to become relevant again. It's like if you want to be relevant, make sure that your voting body is representative of modern industry people, which I think they're getting better about doing. Make sure it's more diverse, which they're getting better about. But also, don't just nominate more Oscar-Bastion films to fill up that category. Like, take some interesting risks. Like, do something weird. Vote for, like, nominate Black Panther for Best Picture.
That's actually what everyone's upset about with the category, is they feel like because everyone wants Black Panther to at least be nominated.
Yeah.
Like, it won't win, but having the nomination would be awesome.
It'd be fantastic.
And so they're like, this is the Oscars' attempt to continue to snub good films like that. Because the last time they talked about it was Dark Knight.
Yeah, so the Dark Knight and WALL-E were two films that really pushed for the expansion of the Best Picture category. Because a lot of people thought both of those should have been nominated.
Yeah.
And the excuse is like, well, the category is so small, so the reasoning is, oh, we'll just make it go wider, and then all they did was just stuff more of the films that would normally get nominated in that category. And the weird thing is, too, is they don't actually always nominate 10 films.
Yeah.
So, like, sometimes it's 8. So
Yeah,
like, well,
I don't know what year they have nominated all 10.
Yeah, so, like, why don't you just take those last 2 slots that are basically just throwaways and just nominate and I don't know
Where's our Boss Baby nomination?
No, didn't it already get nominated?
It was nominated for Best Animated.
Yeah. Oh, right. But I don't know exactly how the nomination process works.
Right.
Like, I know that I think it's for nominations in all the technical categories, it's the actual technical group that puts up the nominations. Like all the cinematographers vote for cinematographer, et cetera, et cetera. And then everyone votes for nominees for Best Picture. But I don't know what their cutoff point is. Like
here's what I hope
the threshold
they do.
is.
Here's how I hope it goes. Before, like, in the pre-show of the Oscars, they're going to have someone on the streets of Hollywood and just talk to 10 random people.
It's Billy Eichner.
Yeah, just talk to 10 random people and be like, hey, what was your favorite movie this year?
Yeah.
And those 10 people, in the spur of the moment, make the category. And then they do like the arm thing where it's the like
the applause-o-meter?
Yeah, the applause-o-meter. You're gonna have someone on stage making the stupid arm applause-o-meter. Like, okay, if you liked Black Panther the most, start cheering.
I think that's about as sophisticated as it gets.
That would be unbelievable if that's how they decided how Oscars
I think that's how they should decide Best Picture in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how they do it. It's like, all right, all the rest of them are voted on, but this is how we're doing from now on. We're going to get the good old patented applause-o-meter out here.
The foolproof applause-o-meter.
It's just going to be Andy Samberg standing on stage going, whoa, look at my arms.
It would be Andy Samberg. I feel like we should start running this Oscar thing. I think we have a lot of great ideas we can push to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we can solve all of this, guys. We're going to step in there, finish it all up.
Yeah.
Do a stellar job.
Basically just have Neil Patrick Harris host until he dies.
Yeah.
Everything.
Or Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman was also great.
You know what? Paddington Bear. We're going to have him.
You know who I actually, after watching my plug this week, you know who I want to see just try to host an award show?
Ewan McGregor.
Ewan McGregor.
He is amazing.
Because he's so talented.
He is very talented.
He's so charming. If it was him and Hugh Jackman, I want to see them do a duet together.
Oh my God, like the most charming combination on stage.
Wouldn't they be?
Can we have like Hugh Grant just like parachute in? Wait, no, I've got it. Cameron, I've got it.
What is it?
The Hughes.
Yes. The Hugh 52s?
Yes. Hugh Grant, Hugh Jackman. Give it to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who's the House MD?
Hugh Laurie.
Hugh Laurie. There
Thank
we go.
Yes. All the Hughes.
Yep.
Hugh Bonneville.
I don't know who that one is. You passed me.
He's the dad in Paddington.
Okay.
But yes, also just crazy charming.
Mm-hmm. Hold on. If we look up Hugh and IMDb, did we hit the first 4?
I think
we got the first 4.
I think with top 4, we might. I'm trying to think there's any other Hughes, but I swear you just they could, even the whole opening bit could be like, oh, calling Hugh to the stage, and like each one of them starts walking up there, they bump each other, like, oh wait, you're hosting? I thought I was hosting. Oh, you're hosting? What? It'd be great.
It would be amazing.
Yeah.
Hugh Dancy.
Oh yes, Hugh Dancy. He's I think he was in Hannibal.
familiar.
Hannibal, the
Yeah,
TV
yeah,
show.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know him well enough though. I don't know if he's actually charming.
He looks charming. He looks very British.
Fuck, let's throw him in there. Let's
Yeah,
have him be a guest cameo.
Oh, he is British. Okay.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, was this me?" Everyone's like, "No, not you, Hugh."
Who are you?
Yeah.
Hugh, are you?
Yeah. Oh.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay. I think we now have to create a video called "He Was On First"?
No, we don't.
Yes,
we do not,
Yes.
actually. I will not besmirch the great name of Abbott and Costello for this bit.
We're gonna do it.
We're
I'm
not
gonna
gonna do
make
it.
it happen.
I think that's pretty much it for news.
Yeah.
I could talk about video game stuff, but we don't need to talk about video game stuff.
Let's skip. Okay, so but instead we're getting to Blackout here. Now I remember I asked you this last time, but you have seen some of these.
I have not seen either of these episodes.
Okay, now did you know who Ink was?
No.
Okay, because I say Ink is
Awesome.
she's
Overpowered.
amazing. It's way
Super OP.
way overpowered. She actually ends up being in more episodes than Blight.
Oh, really?
I mean, they kind of set Blight up like he is the primary antagonist of the show, but he's only in it for so long. Not really a spoiler. Kind of a spoiler.
Thanks.
Fuck it, whatever. She has the most appearances of any of his villains.
Okay.
And I think she is one of the most popular ones to come out of it.
It wouldn't surprise me because I remember the look.
Yeah.
I don't remember ever seeing a full episode of her, but I remember just the blob with the single eye. Like, I remember that.
How do you feel about her powers? So, other than her mysterious ability to cause electronics to either turn on or explode, her normal powers, how do you feel about
Of
that?
just being kind of whatever
Goopy?
she wants.
Yeah, just being this weird goopy thingy.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, she's very close to Clayface,
She is. And that's
But-
what
more sophisticated.
I saw like a combination of Clayface and Rubber Band Man and then
Rubber Band Man?
Static Shock villain. Anti-hero, not villain.
All right. Okay.
Remember there's a whole episode where he can't read? Sorry, I shouldn't laugh at that because there are people that can't read. But that was a legit full episode, was Static teaching him how to read his fan mail.
I think it's, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's fan mail. It's fucking fan mail. I think it's more like the episode of the week nature of that makes it funny, not the fact that he can't read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like his fourth appearance too. Like he's in a lot of episodes.
Oh, wow. They give him a real arc on that one.
Yeah.
Wait, they go 4 episodes in before they talk about him not being able to read?
Well, he starts as a villain, and then he becomes an anti-hero, and then he kind of becomes a hero.
Okay. And then at that
And then
point.
he becomes a rapper, I think. Because the fan mail isn't for Rubber Band Man. The fan mail is for his rap career.
Jesus Christ.
If I remember this correctly. I could be wrong about some of this.
You're probably close enough that it's fine. Okay. So she's like Rubber Band Man.
And then, like, yeah, because she can
Water's her weakness, like Clayface.
Water's her weakness, yeah. The part that surprised me was, unlike Clayface, she can't really control parts of her that come off, which I thought was interesting. But they're still sentient, almost.
Yeah, that's what was... I thought her broader powers, like the implications of her powers, weren't very well explained. Like, she in of herself kind of makes sense. So she's this, like, liquid amorphous blob thing. She can decide how solid or liquid she is. She can shapeshift. That all makes sense. But yeah, the weird little bit of her that Bruce collected, which, when did he do that?
He pulled out his handkerchief
So,
at some point, and then
because
Powers said, "Don't touch that."
yeah, so yeah, because he hid the bit of the sample in his handkerchief. There was a shot of him like dabbing his forehead with a handkerchief. So
I'm gonna guess on the upstroke when he like.
Yeah, so I'm guessing he like, so it looked like he was going to touch it, and then Powers tells him not to touch it. But what throws me off is if he touched it,
She would know.
she would have noticed
Yeah.
because she would have been like,
Maybe he
she
knew.
would have, she would have seen that he recognized that it was liquid. Because obviously she can go solid, but in that moment she's not. 'Cause there's residue.
So here's the thing. So you know how like, it's on the back of your elbow, or there's what's the part of the body where you like have the fewest nerve senses?
Is it the back of the elbow?
I think that's what it is.
Okay.
Where like someone can touch you and you won't feel it.
He touched the back of her elbow.
He knew her. He's done so much planning on this. He knew her so well. He knew how she formed, like which part of the body he's touching when she's in different shapes. So he knew exactly to swipe at the back of her elbow.
Where there's no nerves.
Yes.
Or,
so she wouldn't even know he did that.
Or maybe he's just a very well-trained gentleman and knows that is like a not impolite place to like
that
touch them. Like, oh, here, let me, please allow me after you, right? Just light, casual touch on the
why did she
elbow.
pick such an abstract shape?
Yeah, why didn't she just like become a puddle?
Or like
go into the shadows.
Like a pot or something.
Yeah, or like a lamp?
Yeah.
Or something. Mm-hmm. It's fucking weird.
Literally anything besides an abstract, like...
What I loved is... Because there was another piece of like weird abstract art in there. I guess that he had one just sitting in there. Mm-hmm.
Also, we see her in the beginning of the episode just being a shadow.
Yeah.
Why don't you just go under the desk?
Why don't you just like jump up the ceiling and like absorb in the ceiling? Yeah, because what I love then is because that wide shot shows there's two pieces of abstract art. One of them's obviously ink, but that means that she wasn't always there. Meaning that room just has this weird unbalance. This, like,
yes.
Off to like weirdly off to one side of the room is this very bizarre statue.
Well, I want to think that when she's called in for a contract, they have to rearrange almost feng shui. Like they have to rearrange it specifically for her.
Yeah.
So if someone comes in, she has a place to create abstract art.
Yeah, she gives her clients some options, like either make sure our meeting space is very dark so we can easily blend into the shadows.
Yes.
Or
have this
can you please have this
ugly ass piece of art.
Do you think it's her art?
That was my next question.
Shipped around.
Yes.
And placed.
It's a twofer. If you want me, you have to buy one of my pieces of art.
Because it feels very out of place in Power's office.
Yeah.
Which also...
She's really just trying to jumpstart her sculpture career, and it's not going well.
I get it. Well, I mean, she had to,
instead.
Go to a life of crime because her abstract art just wasn't selling the way she wanted it to.
I really hope this is season 2 of Barry.
It's just him becoming an abstract artist?
Yeah, it's him wanting to become a painter. But, like, every time he murders someone, they get a drop of blood on his paint, on his like, portraits.
Yeah. He's got to redo them.
Yeah.
Or
well,
he's like incorporating blood.
Yeah.
That becomes like his signature trademark. He's like, oh my God, I got to like kill so many people to sell all this artwork.
Yeah. Bill Hader, we have a show for you.
We got it. Man, we've got so many great ideas this episode.
We're rocking it today.
Yeah.
It's all copyrighted, by the way. No one can say
these ideas. We could just call up Hollywood and be like, hello, Hollywood. We've got some ideas for you.
This is Joe Rogan. I have some ideas.
Never underestimate Joe Rogan. But what I did find weird about... Okay. In this episode, did it feel like we were just getting a lot of rehashes? Like, Ink felt like a rehash of Clayface, and Powers in this episode felt just like Lex Luthor light.
Absolutely.
His office looked the same. He's kind of got that same arrogant, smarmy thing going on. Mm-hmm. I like him in general, but maybe it's because I'm just so up on Superman. Like, we've been so immersed in it of late that's where our brain's going to go first. Mm-hmm. But it just felt a little...
No, he is very Lex Luthor-esque.
Yeah. Well, actually, and Ink felt a little bit Livewire, too, just in terms of her powers
that was
the
other
form
one.
of sabotage she was doing. And this was not as refreshing as I thought it would be as an episode.
Mm-hmm. I loved how they animated her move because she never walked.
Oh,
which is
yeah, you're
great,
right.
Because that's exactly how... Because jumping back to Rubber Band Man, he's the same way. Mm-hmm. You never see him walk anywhere unless he's like...
bounce?
Yeah, he turns into a bouncy ball. Fucking I love it.
I can't.
But we talk about this... We talked about it a lot with Incredibles 2. How people who have elastic powers never really like dive into that world until Elastigirl. We saw her use her powers in ways that me at least I'd never seen that power be used before, and that's amazing. And so it was kind of the same of seeing this, as she was almost like a slinky wherever she went.
Yeah,
you could tell like they didn't draw it with momentum, but like I saw it like when she bounced to one puddle, the momentum when she came back moved her to the next one,
and she's very dynamic. Like we never really see her look the same twice.
Right.
Even when she's like running around, she's got like sometimes like all these tentacles going around. Like she's prepared for any sort of attack to swat things away. Excuse me.
Yeah. Yeah, I really liked how they animated her. I feel like they just had a lot of fun with it and just did whatever they wanted.
Yeah. And I think we're we get a lot more of her, and if I recall, her stories get more interesting as they go along.
Yeah, because they just barely touched on her origin.
Yeah, and then
How do you feel about that?
Well, so they don't. I feel like they get a little bit more into her origin later on. The Batman Beyond continued in a comic series that I've read about half of, and I keep meaning to go. I keep rereading the first half and then go buy the rest, and I keep forgetting. So I'm really hoping it's on the DC Universe app. But there's kind of a one-off issue in that goes more into her backstory and where she came from.
Okay.
And how she ended up going through like the mutagenic process and giving her just a little bit more kind of texture and depth. And I think maybe because that's the most recent memory for me of her is that version. This one felt a little bit soft.
Okay.
How did you feel about the like Terry learning the ropes part of this, where he's just walking around inside was it Foxteca? I was about to say Foxconn. No. Foxteca.
I did like the little callback because I didn't get the name for a while,
right?
Until they're like Lucius Fox Jr. Yeah, I'm like, of course he named him Lucius Fox Jr.
Of course, when your name is Lucius Fox, you stick to it.
Yeah,
that's a dynastic name right there.
Mm-hmm. That was cool to get like a little story into that because like Lucius was so connected to Wayne Enterprise.
Yeah.
To hear that his son started working there and then that they fired him.
Fucking Powers.
Yeah,
such an a-hole.
He is.
Yeah, I like that little nod in there. I think...
And we have reason for sabotage, which I think is really cool.
We do, yeah. They're competing for a lunar base.
Yeah, which I don't think I would have picked up as a kid.
No, probably not.
That line is kind of said really fast. And there's a lot of story in that one line. And they're just like, yeah, they're competing for a lunar base.
Yeah.
And I'm like...
What? Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, now I get it.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that in the first normal episode, they'd have to have a moment where Terry, like, isn't paying attention, and so he gets hurt, and Bruce's like, oh, you have to learn to think on your feet, which then he later does.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I think I'm more used to the version of Terry we see in, like, Justice League Unlimited when they go into the future, and some of the later episodes, and, like, in Return of the Joker as well. Those are all things I've seen more recently, where he is more polished as Batman. He's a little more experienced. So it's almost weird for me to jump back and see the really naive version again.
I remembered, because I wrote down exactly the comparison that I made in my head when watching it. Ink is a better Tim Curry from Fern Gully. Do you remember Tim Curry from Fern Gully? Because he's the pollution monster.
Oh, okay.
And he's that same like gloopy, like made of oil.
I forgot what he looks like.
He sings a song.
Of course. Well, it's Tim Curry. You don't put Tim Curry in your movie and not give him a song to sing.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about that. I mean, I haven't seen Fern Gully in 20-something years.
Same, but I used to watch it religiously as a child.
I'm looking this up here. Fern Gully, Tim Curry. Okay, yeah, I think she is pretty good, and I think she'll. Oh, yeah,
right,
yeah. Okay, we'll have to like post this on Instagram or something like that, being like, "Hey, kids."
God, I remember having nightmares from this image.
Oh yeah, man, the thing's freaky looking.
Mm-hmm. When he like, because he would like eat the fire, because he was made of like oil, so he would eat fire, and he became like a skeleton. For the people who don't remember Fern Gully, he became like a skeleton, and it just like glowed orange from the inside from the flame.
Yeah,
and just having nightmares from that.
Just saying though, I mean, he's got a pretty ripped body.
Oh yeah,
like.
But I feel like this was like Ink v like V.1B.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she's pretty good. I do like her. But I think that this episode is kind of okay. I think the best part of it though is the finale in the Batcave.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I
did you catch all the costumes?
I did. There's so many.
Yeah.
So which ones did you spot?
I saw Riddler. I wrote them down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then I want to talk about the sport, but I'll say that for a second.
Oh yeah.
I saw Riddler. I saw not Poison Ivy. I saw Harley.
Yeah.
Scarface was in there.
Puppet versions all shot up.
Yeah. Because there's never one that survives.
It survives. I'm trying to remember how. What was the last version? Oh, I think the last version we saw fell into the fan on top of the building, right? Got chopped up.
Yeah.
So either the version of the Batcave is just.
I think so. The very first time we see Ventriloquist, he gets shot up.
He gets shot.
So I think it's that one.
It's just that one, but we're just we're going with the idea that like there's the continuity and it's that version, just it's animated in the new style. That makes sense.
Yeah, I want Ventriloquist's story to end where it did, where he never went back. And so I hope.
Yeah, I think it's a better version. Yes, yeah. He's in there all shut up, which I thought was a fun detail. It's like Catwoman, kind of off in the distance.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was Catwoman. Mad Hatter,
Firefly, and Penguin.
The Penguin one I thought was funny because Penguin
it's
doesn't
just
really
a suit.
Exactly, it's not really a costume. He just stole Penguin's suit. Like that's just mean.
Do you? Oh, okay.
Because the other ones are like costumes. Like you're not going to wear that on the street. But Penguin wears that when he goes anywhere. He wears the suit.
When do you think he got these? Because there's not a lot of these that we see in the new Batman Adventures. Obviously, like the T-Rex or the giant pennies are. Is there a T-Rex in this one?
Yeah.
So the T-Rex, the giant penny are there. The Gray Ghost.
Yeah. Oh, that was the other one. Yeah, that one was really awesome
I think it was already. I think we saw that before in New Batman Adventures.
Okay.
But so all the rest of the costumes clearly he acquired after the run of the series. So do you think like when did he get those? Because for them to be trophies, that sort of implies like they're in his past.
I think I had a darker idea. I don't think they're trophies. I think they're memorials.
Oh my god!
The ones that he couldn't save. I think they died doing something, and that he's like holding on to the memories of the things that he didn't get to save.
Oh my god! So
except Scarface, because that's the only one not in a case. So he's like, here, this one is the trophy.
Yeah. Okay, so Scarface, I mean, we do know what happened to Mr. Freeze. Last we saw him, he was in the iceberg, but obviously he comes back in Batman Beyond. Mm-hmm. But it's still possible, given where we find him, that Bruce could have recovered his...
Did we see Mr. Freeze? We saw Firefly.
His helmet and freeze gun, because they used the freeze gun, but his helmet's in there.
Right, okay.
So we kind of know... It's possible that Bruce could have gotten the helmet at some point. Maybe the Catwoman suit he has...
She, left.
I think she mailed it to him.
Oh, for sure.
I think she left because the last we see her, she had gone off to Paris, and I think as like a
something to remember me by.
Yeah, it was like a final, an au revoir sort of thing. She probably just mailed it back to him. Mm-hmm. That's where we would have gotten that. Okay, so then the Riddler died apparently somehow.
Yeah.
And so Bruce couldn't save him, but I mean, the Riddler could never have been saved. He was too far gone. Mm-hmm. He was never one that was going to try. I guess Firefly could have died.
Firefly, well, since that's like a full
on suit.
Yeah, I think he just took that from him after they sent him to Arkham.
Yeah, and then we do know Harley's fate in this universe. We do actually.
Oh, I don't. So.
You don't, but we will find it eventually.
Okay.
So just no comment on that. So I like that theory. My theory is that when he retired, when he decided never again, he got bored. And so he would just occasionally break into Arkham and just steal stuff out of their evidence locker.
Amazing. And
just put it in, and then just like very carefully maintain it. Do you think, because a lot of stuff gets trashed and there's no Alfred anymore. So do you think Bruce then goes through and like spends his days sweeping up all the glass and dumping it? And like building a new case, like sitting there with a screwdriver, like putting the boards together so he could build a whole new showcase.
I bet he's trained Ace to clean, but he still builds it.
Can use like a broom and dustbin.
Yeah,
just scoop it up.
100%. That's a well-trained dog.
It's a very well-trained.
Or no, what are we talking about? He has Terry to do that now.
That's true.
He 100% makes Terry do it.
Yeah, it's his version of wax on, wax off.
I was gonna say it's his Mr. Miyagi moment.
But there's no like martial arts payoff later on. It's just Bruce wanted the Batcave cleaned.
Yeah. I want the scene. I'm sure we get it at some point where Bruce actually treats Terry as his assistant.
It's like houseboy.
Yeah. He's like, I thought you hired me to be Batman. He's like, no, I hired you because I needed shit done.
Yeah.
Sometimes that includes the bat suit and sometimes it doesn't. So finish cleaning.
That was
you want these $50? He's like waving it above his nose.
That would have been like a great deleted scene between the pilot and this.
Yeah.
Where, because we assume that Bruce probably hasn't gone in the cave in 20 some odd years, maybe 15 years. So that is a thick layer of like dirt and dust.
He has to go in and install all the software updates in the Bat computer.
So Terry's first day of the job was like scrubbing bat shit off of all the cases, dusting them, mopping the floors, and doing software updates in the computers. checking the oil on the future
reteaching Bruce
Batmobile.
to use the Bat computer because there's like 17 updates since then.
Reprogramming the voice controls because Bruce's voice has gotten old and gravelly. It
Yeah.
doesn't work the same anymore. Yeah, that's what he did for like the first week.
Yeah, he's really earning his keep.
Yeah, he didn't even get a chance to put on the suit until then.
Yeah.
until he achieved
This is
all
actually the
that.
next time we see him put it on. That's why he's so rusty. That's why he can't think on his feet, because he hasn't had any practice in the suit since the last episode.
That's why he was picking up that piece of broken glass, looking at the slime on it. That's all he did for a week was just pick up broken glass.
Yeah.
That was his martial arts training.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. It's perfect.
Yeah.
But no, I have always wanted to see in the ending of one of the Batman feature films a fight set inside the Batcave. I just think that is a super cool, interesting idea. It's Bruce. It would require someone to be like the most intrusive possible.
Yeah.
Is they've gone into the Batcave and like a fight goes on there. Plus, it's a really dynamic place to have a fight. Like there's cliffs, there's stalactites, all these things. Like we see that play out here.
Well, I was gonna say in Heart of Steel, we have Robot Batman.
Oh, that's
in the
true.
cave.
And we think Batman Falls. You're right. See, that's always a super interesting thing. So I like they did that here. I love that Bruce grabs the gray ghost mask to put it on.
I love that. That's
and
such a great
use
nod.
the fire hose. Yeah, that whole thing was really, really fun.
That's not how I thought they were gonna stop her. I wasn't expecting the ice because there's a short scene in the middle of the fight where she kind of solidifies in human form on top of a glass dome. And so I thought they were gonna like push her into the corner and then trap her in the dome.
Oh, okay. That would have made sense. I like
or like flood it.
Yeah, I like to use the freeze gun though, because again,
Yeah,
it's like Terry thinking on his feet and grabbing the freeze gun. We also got our first intro of
Introduction
of Batgirl, the former Batgirl,
Yes.
aka now Commissioner Barbara Gordon. Which is fun to see.
with a nice, lovely photo of her dad on the desk.
Yeah, of
It's very
course, just in
sweet.
case you couldn't catch it. But okay, yeah. Two things we need to talk about though: the sweet, sweet ass Batmobile.
And the Batwing.
Well, that's the new. That's called the Batmobile.
Oh,
It's the Batman Beyond Batmobile.
got it.
Yeah,
It's cool.
it's fucking sweet, isn't
It
it?
is pretty cool. Yeah,
That was one of my all-time favorite toys.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
It looks awesome.
So what? Okay. Childhood rant here. What really bothered me, because there was a pretty great line of Batman Beyond toys that came out right when the show came out, including the Batmobile, which was clearly based off like an earlier iteration, so it didn't quite look right. But it still definitely had a sweet look to it, like the wings folded down the side, kind of play mode. It was awesome. They never created a version of Batman in his normal bat suit. The
Really?
closest we got, like the normal figure, was Terry in the bat suit with the red wings you clip on and off, but the suit itself was this almost like translucent blue. It was electric blue, and it was a semi-transparent material, and like that was the closest we had to the actual just normal proper suit. And that is why to this day I still buy every fucking Batman Beyond action figure I can find, including the BTOS one or the DCAU one, including this lovely one that Jeb brought me back from Comic-Con, which I have to
Yes.
post. That's beautiful.
It is gorgeous.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I have to get all of them. There was a Mattel, like their Legends or something like that. They did a set a couple years ago. I need to track down and find, but it doesn't look like the skinny Terry version. It's kind of a mid-range, bulkier version. Like it's a little bit older, but it comes with removable wings and then all the different Batarangs. I love that design of Batarang, and it comes with a Terry head and then an old Bruce head you can put on the body, and it also comes with the loose mask that you can hold in their hands. You can have it look like he's taking the mask off and holding it in his hand. It's a fucking cool set.
That's cool. I was gonna say
I
like as a kid, my favorite color combo was black and red, and so seeing that on the
It's so good.
it's super futuristic.
Yes.
That's the color palette of this show. It's just black and red.
It's a great aesthetic choice. I love it.
And so yeah, that's what I liked about the new Batmobile.
Yeah.
Was
Oh
the,
my
the-
God.
the red accents.
Oh my god, could you imagine if the DC toy line did a version of that Batmobile?
I'm sure that will.
I mean, I want them to do the new Batman Adventures one first, but please, guys,
yeah.
for me. Do it.
There's something else I wanted to say.
The hockey?
Yeah.
Can we talk about it?
So
what sport is that?
there's an actual sport that it's based off of.
What, there is?
You will have seen it once, because I know I've seen it once, and I had to look it up to remember. It was in Tron.
Original Tron?
Yes, original Tron. And it's called Jai-Alai.
Okay.
J-A-I space A-L-A-I.
Okay.
And it's this bizarre... It was popular in, like, casinos in the 70s.
What?
Yeah, and until recently, it held the record for being the fastest ball sport in the world. It had a small stint in America. I think it was big in, like, India.
Okay.
But from Tron, you will remember it because it's the giant glove.
Oh, yeah.
It's the arced glove.
Oh, this does look kind of familiar.
Yeah. Yeah, so in Tron, they have to throw it. It hits a target on the ceiling, and then you have to catch it.
Yeah. So this is just future version of that.
It's Jai-Alai on skates.
It's hover.
Yeah.
Hover Jai-Alai with like kind of a hockey aesthetic applied to it. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I didn't see this trivia listed anywhere, but do you think this was a reference to Tron?
I don't think so.
Because it wasn't. Yeah, I guess it wasn't very Tron-esque. I think they're just like, what can we do that makes this seem like super futuristic?
It might have been a hockey thing. They're like, what if the stick was just part of your arm?
Yeah.
And I think it just might have been a coincidence that that's also a sport that already exists.
It probably, yeah. Mm-hmm. It's pretty sweet costumes, though.
Yeah.
Wait, sorry, it's sports. It's probably not referred to as costumes.
No, you're right.
Oh my god, what cool outfits they have.
Outfits is the next choice.
Oh my god. Mm-hmm. I love your ensemble. Yeah, weird.
Your whole aesthetic is just
your
really,
whole aesthetic. It's
really
just fabulous. It's fantastic though, and that we'll see more of that later on too.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's
I love
like the
fiction
sport of Hamilton Hill High.
Fiction sports, I think, are so fascinating, especially when you get like actual rules. Because like that takes so much work.
Oh, to like come up with a whole sport?
Yeah.
A whole fictional sport?
Yeah, I mean, Quidditch is obviously the
Quidditch is amazing.
one. Yeah.
I know. God, I really wish you could
and
play
there's
real
like
Quidditch.
the rules. JK made the rules so detailed that we have people that can just fucking play it now.
Yeah.
And that's crazy.
Imagine what will happen, how cool it'll be when we have technology that can more or less like recreate the look and feel of flying around on a broomstick.
We have it. That's the thing. We have it. And I'm honestly upset that it hasn't been built yet. So the ride in Pandora in Disney World, sorry to spoil it if you don't want to, here's the time code, blah, 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 if you don't want to hear the ride. It's not important. I mean, it's a ride. You know what to expect.
Yeah.
But you sit on the Ikrans, the banshees.
Yes.
And you feel it underneath you, and you weave through a scene.
Mm-hmm.
And so we can get a middle ground of that, where it's not you actually playing Quidditch, but you can sit on a broomstick and have like a 3D environment where you are playing, a scripted game of Quidditch.
Okay, so I get what you're saying there. I meant more what'll happen when we have sort of hover style technology that means we could actually like play real Quidditch.
If we combine that with the Void, the super immersive VR experience, you wouldn't be able to physically move around, but they could definitely set it up where you sit on the broom, you have the headset on, and you kind of tilt side to side.
And make it seem like you're doing it.
Yeah, like that's totally doable right now.
That actually would be pretty sweet.
And no one's fucking on it.
Well, it's got to be us.
Yeah.
As we've established this episode.
We have a lot of shit to do right now.
After we fix the Oscars. Create Hughes on first.
Yep. Nope.
And what was the other thing we're going to fix?
I don't remember.
I've
had a lot of great ideas.
We'll do proper Quidditch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do you have any more things to say about this, or can we jump into Golem? Because I feel like we're starting to talk about the life at Hamilton Hill High, and I feel like Golem better serves us to talk about that.
The last point I wanted to make was the absolute disgusting and horrifying scene where Ink is just trying to suffocate Terry.
Oh, God, yeah.
Because they do that, like, it's so well animated, it made me sick.
Yeah, it's horrifying to look at. And then he's throwing it all up onto the floor of the Batcave.
Yeah.
Which he's later going to have to clean.
Well, do you think Ink has to reabsorb that part of her?
That's what I was wondering. Like, how much of her is sentient? Like, because she also goes down his throat literally head first.
Yeah.
So is she looking? Is she like looking down his esophagus?
I guess so.
Everything about this makes you very uncomfortable. It's massive.
Well, I
personal
just
space
want
violation.
the scene when she's in whatever future Arkham is. I don't actually know what that is anymore.
I don't know if they have one.
Okay. But she's like, because she can't take a shower.
Right.
And she just has like, she's like pulling pieces of vomit off of her leg.
Yeah, it's just like getting like bits of hamburger out of her stuff from Terry's stomach. Oh,
okay,
God.
that was it. So now we can talk about Golem.
Okay, now we can talk about Golem.
This is the most Spider-Man episode I've ever seen of Batman.
It is. I didn't really love this.
Okay.
I wasn't. Who is this episode for? What do you think they're beyond trying to tell an entertaining story? If we're running the idea that it's geared at kids, maybe they're trying to give some sort of message. Who is the person? Who's the audience trying to give a message to? And what do you think their message is supposed to be?
Yeah, that's my question.
I'll say real quick recap of the plot of this, because I feel like we actually won't talk about the plot that much. Super nerdy kid at the high school gets bullied a whole bunch.
Willie Watts.
He steals his dad's 2-story tall,
13-ton mechanical
like, robot construction device.
Yeah, basically
called the Golem.
Yeah, it's basically like a robot. It's all construction equipment kind of put into a robot.
Yeah, and he uses it to enact his own like revenge against the boys, and then eventually his brain gets merged with the Golem itself, and then at the end he has control over electronics. I don't know, but the whole thing is a story about a bullied kid who in turn gains power and then abuses it. Mm-hmm. So again, who is this for?
With no real repercussions. He just gets more power.
And everyone in this episode sucks. Like everyone's an asshole. So I'm like, who are we supposed to empathize with? Who are you supposed to judge? Like, I feel like no one was given enough depth to their behavior to make it seem like they were human. They all just felt like they were cliches.
Yeah. What I would have really liked, so we have a little bit of interaction between Wade and Terry. Mm-hmm. Terry isn't...
Willie.
Who did I say?
Wade.
Sorry.
Yeah, this is Batman
Wade.
Beyond, not Ready Player One.
I know.
Yeah.
Willie Watts, not Wade Watts.
Yeah.
Willie.
Also, there we go. That in and of itself, very Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Very Spider-Man name.
So there's a little bit of communication between them, but Terry isn't like really friendly with him. He's
kind of like positively ambivalent. Like he's ambivalent, but will still stick up for him.
Yeah, he's what's the D&D class? He's
something neutral.
Top middle. Yeah.
Neutral good.
Sure. Yeah. That's it.
Is that it? Mm-hmm. No, that can't be
lawful neutral.
Lawful neutral. There we go.
I
don't play D&D, so I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's interesting because Batman is always chaotic.
Lawful. Wait, no, chaotic.
No. Yeah. It's the top right. So you have the lawful, neutral, chaotic, and then good, neutral,
evil,
bad.
I don't know.
I don't remember anymore. I'm sorry. I'm letting you guys down.
Someone write it and tell us.
Yeah.
And be sure to remind Cameron he was forgetful and wrong.
Yeah. I mean, constantly.
Yeah.
But no, it seemed like the relationship was less him wanting to protect Willie and more him wanting to beat up, not Dash, Bash, Vash, Lash, Mash. I wrote it down.
Nash.
Nelson
Nash.
Yeah.
Is his name. Again, another very Spider-Man name.
Right. Who's very much just...
he's Flash Thompson.
Yeah,
that's
100%.
all.
He's even blonde, cares about his car too much.
Yeah.
Played by Joe Manganiello.
Yeah, exactly. Just ripped as fuck.
Yep. It still fucking blows my mind that Joe Manganiello
I know,
played
right?
Flash Thompson.
So bizarre. He looks so young.
He is so young.
I know. He's not
but
yet a
still
wolf.
not high school.
Yeah. Oh, he's still. Yeah.
He's still like 10 years past high school.
32 probably at least. But it's it's Nelson Nash.
Mm-hmm.
Who's actually a redhead, not a blonde.
Oh, sorry.
Come on. He's so different than Flash Thompson. You kidding me?
Excuse me. So the relationship is less him wanting to be friends and more him wanting to be enemies with the other one.
Yeah.
It's more the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah.
And the only real good person is Dana. She's and it was way too late for her to try and intervene.
Yeah, at the end when he's having his carry moment and the golem bursts through the pier.
Yeah, also let's talk about how unnecessarily cool their school dances are.
Yeah, I guess it's out on a pier.
Yeah.
Also, but what kind of dance is it? I think this would also throw me off a little bit. It's like if it's not I mean, I would assume that even in the future, high school dances are still held at the high school.
Yeah. But they also
It's
didn't
like only
ever
prom that are offsite.
Did they ever specify that it was a high school dance? They would just refer to it as the dance.
I guess not. And Willie, being the clueless kind of character that he is, would show up to like just a casual sort of thing in like a full tuxedo with a corsage.
Yeah.
So
I guess okay, so that makes the joke a little better about her wearing the corsage.
yeah.
But it was just the punchline that really threw me off because that's such a high school trope.
What was the punchline?
Where he's like, "Oh, do you want any punch?" And she's like, "Whatever." He's like,
Oh.
I'll get you some punch."
The line about
Sorry,
punch,
not the punchline. Yes, sorry, I didn't realize the wordplay, the unintentional wordplay.
Yeah, it's just the whole thing is just built on cliches, and that didn't work for me. It's like Nelson is just the Flash Thompson, the really generic.
Cares more about his
School
car than
jock
anyone
boy,
else.
cares more about his jock. He doesn't treat his girlfriend well. His girlfriend like is
Not even really his girlfriend.
Yeah,
just
it's like
a girl
he
in
just
school
refers to
he's
as his
obsessed
girl.
with.
Yeah, and just like she's into it, but then she's annoyed at him, but she's still into him. But even then, like, you know,
I want the bad boy, but he still has to work for it.
Well, yeah, and I think part of my problem too is that they didn't give her a lot of depth.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
what I wanted them to do. Sorry to cut you off.
how dare you?
It's the first time for everything.
I know. I got completely lost my train of thought. Anyways, it's fine.
They did this episode before, just not in high school. When we have the episode where the penguin is trying to be good.
Birds of a Feather.
Sure, with Veronica Veerland, right?
Veronica Vreeland.
Yeah.
Yeah, where she just brings him along as a stooge.
Yeah, to just make the other guy jealous.
Yeah.
And that's all that the episode needed to do.
Wait,
Like,
oh, yeah, she was trying to make someone jealous. No, she
Yeah.
wasn't trying to make anyone jealous. I think she just was trying to, she brought him along as a source of amusement for her and her friend.
Okay,
With her really camp best friend.
And
with her GBF.
I kind of wish they would have
GBF.
done that story. Because they didn't. I feel like they didn't want to go full Carrie.
Yeah.
And I feel like they should have because it's a good story. It's iconic and it fits very well into this plot.
Yeah, well, because
There's even the scene where the girls laugh at him and like,
Yeah.
why didn't she go in on that?
because it is very close. Like, he's got the kind of abusive parent, but even that is just like, oh, I've got a son who's a wuss, right? It's
Yeah. If they push you got to push back.
like the dad doesn't like his nerdy son. The jock's picking on him. The hot girl is just using him to make someone jealous. I think that was my problem with it. And at least I think it was Birds of a Feather. I'm not quite sure. In that episode, she is using him for a source of entertainment, but that's not like, this is a very cliched story of like the hot girl hangs out with the nerdy guy to make the other guy jealous, and by doing so, like, leads the nerdy guy on, and it becomes a whole thing. It's like
I kind of wish
done.
that was the first time. I mean, it wouldn't have worked as well, but if the story was, you know, his dad gives him the talk of like, if someone pushes you, got to push back.
Yeah.
He makes the plan. We see him actually planning out how to, because I wish they would have pushed more into him being like really tech savvy.
Yeah.
Instead of just saying like, oh, I'm in your robotics class and I'm doing well. I would have loved for him to like figure out a new way to control the golem without the headset.
Yeah.
And then, put some chip behind his ear or something.
That might have better explained when he just gets zapped and all of a sudden
Yeah.
can merge with a thing.
And now he has this sentient guardian angel. So we see him set all that up, and like he's about to do it at the mall.
Mm-hmm.
And he's about to summon the golem. Flash, like pushes him into a wall or something. Dana comes in. Dana being the shining light of goodness that she is.
Yeah, the only good character, the only decent person in this whole thing.
She's like, oh, hey, come hang out with us. We're going to go get Froyo or something.
Yeah.
Terry's kind of ambivalent to it. He just kind of rolls his eyes. Like, yeah, sure, you can come interrupt our date in my only free time that I have. So he's like, okay, this is fine. Like, I can handle this.
Yeah.
And then you have the Carrie moment at the prom. Throw him into the pier. He comes out soaking wet. The chip, like, fried. And then he gets control of it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so then it's merged with him. So then he comes back. Dana tries to help. Terry has to do something to get on his bad side. Like maybe he goes and asks for help. Or he's like, how do I ask her to dance? I don't know. Some other high school trope. Terry just kind of pushes him aside because either Batman stuff is going on or he's trying to get with, probably Batman stuff would fit.
Yeah.
Has the Batman stuff going on. He kind of ignores Willie, thrown in the water. Then he has his Carrie moment. Dana comes, tries to save the day, fails. Then we end with the fight.
I got so lost in all that, but sure, it all sounds great.
Sorry.
I got so confused.
Kind of word vomited that ending.
What I think it needed a beat of sympathy from all of them. I guess Blade.
Yeah, he needed a chance to be better without being evil.
Yeah, like Blade got her one moment where she's like, "Well, what about Willie?" Like she feels kind of bad about ditching him at the party, but that it didn't really feel earned given the way she treated him the whole rest of the way.
Right.
What might have worked here is if Terry had gone up to Willie and it's like, "Hey, do you see what's going on? She's just like using you." And then if he was super defensive about that, then maybe that would have worked a little bit better.
Yeah, there we go.
If he had been given an out, but this is the problem: is are we supposed to sympathize with him because he is like he starts out and he is most I think a victim. Like he gets the victim abuse from his dad, from Nelson, and from Blade in some ways too. So are we supposed to feel bad for him?
I don't know, because I feel like I brought this up to you before the podcast. Did you ever watch the Ultimate Spider-Man animated series?
No, I've heard it's good though.
It's really good. Drake Bell, surprisingly a good Peter Parker.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see good Peter Parker.
But in the episode with the Rhino, the Rhino being the exact same character, he's the nerd who gets picked on by Flash Thompson.
Okay.
It's actually the exact same story now that I think about it. Rhino turns into the Rhino, destroys the car.
Yeah.
And then goes to Flash's home, and he's just going to, destroy his house.
Yeah.
And then you learn that Flash lives in a trailer because his family's poor.
Okay.
And he's mean because, weird twist. They try and sympathize with Flash halfway through
But
the
isn't
show.
that also the story of Roger from Doug?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I want to make sure I had all of my
also
cartoon
Nelson
tropes.
from Spider-Man, or not Spider, from The Simpsons. It's a pretty common trope that bullies are just like the poor kids.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, but I feel like they handle it so much better in Spider-Man because you do see Peter try and be the friend.
Okay.
Because they are both nerds.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem is Terry isn't a nerd, and so he can't really sympathize with his villains.
Yeah.
Or with that villain.
I guess so. It's just...
Because Peter... It's the story of with Spider-Man. It's Peter gets power and uses it responsibly. Rhino gets power and uses it
irresponsibly. Right?
Because they're both bullied by Flash, and just how they handle it.
Okay. See, then that becomes interesting because that at least is offering up counterpoints, or it's offering up different points of view, or it has shades of nuance. I think my problem here is you can't have your characters be both one-dimensional and also straddle a line. So, like, Willie, he's a victim, so we're supposed to feel bad for him, but then he's also an aggressor and takes it way, way, way too far. But he's not given enough depth to make us feel bad for his turn. And even Blade, too, she is mostly just a one-note, selfish girl.
Yeah. Can we also talk about her name for a second?
It's weird. I know.
It's weird to have a character named Blade and not have them be in a gang.
Exactly.
Like, that doesn't really fit.
Or going around slaughtering vampires.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I wanted more from her. I wanted her to maybe have some moment of genuine interest in either Nelson or Willie or both. Just enough to make this not feel like it's just pushing buttons we've seen before.
Yeah.
And and maybe just in a much more modern context where, like, I mean, to go super dark with like school shootings and shit, things are super heavy when you start talking about bullying and the repercussions of bullying, and you get things like I didn't watch season 2 of
we had a
13 Reasons Why. We had a lengthy conversation beforehand, but if you're gonna go down that path now, you have to try and do it with some sort of self-awareness and nuance and empathy. And I get that this was made 20 years ago, and so it's a very different world. but it's just hard to watch that now and not see those elements.
Right, not feel the beats. Because what I was talking about with 13 Reasons Why, I'll try and speed through it as fast as possible. The finale, spoiler, whatever. If you haven't watched it by now, you're probably not going to watch it. Yeah, season
specific.
2. The most recent season. One of the characters has a horrible incident happen to him. I won't go into it. But he shows up at the school prom with a machine gun. And the whole, like, the nice group from the tapes comes out to try and talk him out of it. Mm-hmm. And they end up doing so.
Okay.
But, like, you have to... I mean, there's no real redemption moment, but, like, that is real shit now.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you said, this is 18 years ago now, so it's hard to make that comparison. Yeah, like you said, it does feel tone deaf now.
Yeah.
And it made me just kind of feel weird at the end of the episode, because you do have these villains that don't think about, and we always joke about it, about what's the word, about just like other damage they're doing around the city.
Collateral damage.
Yeah, they don't ever think about that. And now we kind of are in a world where we have to think about that.
Yeah.
In both a physical and a mental state.
It just, everything about it felt a little bit lazy. And again, I think it's fair for us to be a little bit critical of this, just given that there was better material like further on down the line in Justice League, but also there was better material back in BTOS.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it's still fine, and like we'll see more of Willie Watts, and if I recall, I think he gets a little bit better as time goes on.
Okay, cool.
So,
yeah, because now I think I like his power now more, because now he's just
like tech.
Mm-hmm.
He's a technokinetic. Is that a term?
No, I think that's right.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, technokinetic sounds right.
Yeah, that'd be cool to see him come back later. Any other thoughts on that?
I think that's pretty much it. Let me double check my notes. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, dance at a circus. Their school is cooler than mine. Oh yeah, the last line from the dad, which is like, "Fuck you." I wanted Bruce to come out and just like backhand him with the cane.
I know.
Terry makes some line of like, "You should go say something because you're probably not going to see him for a while."
Yeah.
And the dad with a smile on his face, he's like, "Well, I guess my son's not a wuss anymore." I'm like, that's like, fuck you.
Maybe that's part of my problem with this episode, is that the only person who gets punished is Willie.
Yeah.
Nothing happens to Dad. Nothing really happens to Nelson, and it's weird to say that like Blade should have some sort of comeuppance, but maybe at least some sort of like recognition of like
a change of heart.
Yeah, or just I think I could believe that Nelson would keep on being a douchebag, but I could see Blade being like, "Don't you see, look what we did? Like, this is our fault," and like walking away from him. I think that would have been more interesting.
Here's what we had to do. Just one small edit. So the final scene where he's in juvie, you hear the TV on in the background, and you see Willie reading an apology from Blade. I was like, "Sorry, I treated you so badly." And then the villains come, or then like the other juvie kids come in. It's like, "Change the channel. I wanna watch cartoons." And then he kind of like crumples it up, and now he's gone like pure evil.
Oh, okay, like he doesn't forgive her.
Yeah,
even
so
though
he crumples it up and then blows up the TV and then walks away with a smile.
I guess it's the wrong. I guess
the smallest amount of effort they needed to do to kind of have her feel something at the end of the episode.
I don't think a super villain origin should be that they were bullied a lot. Mm-hmm. I think that's just a little...
But I feel like it's so many
It's a lot, but it's just a little bit tone deaf. Mm-hmm. I don't think it quite works. So,
well, I mean, that's Scarecrow, that's Penguin, that's...
and like not the DCAU.
Well, I mean, just in general, Scarecrow's origin... No, even in the DCAU, don't they have an episode where you learn he was beat by his dad?
Do we? Isn't that Harvey? Is that Harvey?
No, that's also in the comics for Harvey.
Yeah.
But no, wasn't there a Scarecrow episode where he like goes to a house, and it's like his dad's house? What am I thinking of?
I don't know what you're thinking.
I have no idea what. I've definitely seen an episode of this.
That doesn't sound right. I don't know.
Okay. Where it's Scarecrow. Okay, let me just talk about what I saw, if I remember correctly. Bruce goes to a house. It looks like a rickety cabin house.
Yeah.
That's on a farm. You see a Scarecrow out front with the tractor and the whole 9 yards. He goes in, and then like the fear gas hits him, and so as he's climbing the stairs, they kind of go on forever.
Oh,
is this an episode of something?
there is. Oh, there is.
Because then there's like undertones of Scarecrow being in there, and he was kind of hit with his own gas or something like that, and like he keeps seeing his dad.
Wait, Bruce keeps seeing his own dad.
No. Scarecrow sees his dad.
That I don't remember. I vaguely recall Bruce going out to some like operation where Scarecrow has something going on.
If anyone knows what we're talking about, because god damn it, this is gonna really bother me.
Are you sure it was Batman?
I'm like 80% sure it was Batman.
Okay.
I could be wrong,
Well,
but I don't know what other villain or what other character it would have been.
I don't know. But if you guys know, write it and tell us. Send us a note.
Yes.
Friends.
Because we have our new section called
Notes from Friends.
Friends with Notes.
Friends with Notes. It's all about our friends who are musically talented.
Yes.
Yeah, relatively short stuff here, but we got a lovely message on Instagram from Ashley Clark, aka Pretty Dang Nerdy, one of our favorites. She was listening to the episode up on her TV and was saying it's always good to hear the Tim Talk Boys talking about Batman Beyond. Also, your logo looks really cool in the center of a television. Your new Batman logo. I fucking love it. I love it so much. The Beyond logo. But
like I said, my favorite color palette is black and red.
It's beautiful. I love
Makes it real simple.
She was saying that she liked the version of a happier Bruce future, but that for her, there's no universe where Bruce and Selina don't end up together, which I think is fair. And my counterpoint to that was that, unfortunately, the DCAU just never invested itself in that relationship long term.
Yeah.
Sadly. Also, Maddie confirmed Bruce is in his late 70s.
Thank you so much, Maddie.
Awesome. Now, if we can only figure out how old Ace is.
Aces, yes. It's the next major challenge.
And then Paul Hill put up on Twitter, he was wondering, just to the general like DCAU community, is it worth buying Superman the Animated Series on DVD? What are your thoughts?
I'm going to say no, just because the streaming service is going to come out, and I think we
it
already
would
know it's
probably
going to be
be
on
up on that, yeah. Because I think there are episodes in it worth seeing, definitely, especially if there are Batman crossovers.
It also depends on how much it costs.
That's a good point,
Like, if it's 30 and under, sure.
For all
not?
of it?
Yeah.
I think that's reasonable. Yeah, say do a nice cost-benefit analysis, but certainly think about the fact that it's all going to be on the streaming service soon.
I would say don't go anywhere over 30.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Because I think I have it.
Good advice. Do you have Superman?
I think so. Because
Okay.
I found a super nice deal on eBay.
Oh, for all of the...
Hashtag ad, hashtag sponsored. eBay, the place to buy shit.
For all of the DCAU that was already out there?
Yeah, so I got everything from... I didn't get Beyond or Static.
But you already had Beyond, right?
Yeah, I got Beyond from a different place.
Okay.
But yeah, it was all of BTOS, New Batman, Superman, and Justice League.
Okay.
And I got it all for like $80.
It's pretty solid, actually.
Super nice.
That's well worth it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are a lot of complicating factors in doing so, but I would love to see all of the if they did a box set of the entire DCAU on Blu-ray. I mean, even if it would be expensive, that's a lot of material.
Yeah.
Probably like it could be like $200 maybe.
I would say anywhere from like $150 to $250.
I'd still buy it. I think you can just imagine just how beautiful that whole.
I see the
be.
case just being the Bat logo.
Yes.
Like
Yeah,
that'd
like
be awesome.
like just the original animated series logo. I'm so down for it.
Yeah.
Those people out of DC, please make these things for us. We want them.
We will buy them.
But what are your bat plugs?
One of my bat plugs, Chris.
Bat
I have a
plugs.
major bat plug for you.
Oh yes.
For the audience, I wanted to save it for on air. I'm
But
sad
you-
that
you spoiled it at lunch
slipped
today.
it before because I was so excited.
Yeah.
Because you owe me one season
Fuck.
of My Hero Academia.
How many episodes is it?
24.
24 in the 30-minute episodes.
Yeah, 20-minute episodes. Yeah.
Oh, Cameron.
If you cut off the intro and outro, but the intro is one of the best fucking songs in every season.
It'll take me forever to get to it, but I'll try.
You have to. That's the bet. Not the bet. The deal we made.
Damn
'Cause
it.
I read Hush.
Okay, I will watch it
You have
soon. I will start watching it before we record the next episode.
Okay.
That is my plea. My plea? My promise.
Yes.
My plea to Cameron, don't make me do it. I don't have time.
I will watch it with you because I love the show. So like it's kind of sad to say that it is the highlight of my week every week. Because I get up.
Oh, Cameron.
I get up at 6 a.m. every Saturday so I can watch My Hero Academia, and then I go back to sleep after I
Oh my
watch it.
God, you're still a child, and I love it.
Yes.
Okay, I promise I will watch it before next episode. I'll watch at least one episode. But I want to hear your thoughts on Hush, because that is one of my all-time favorite Batman comics. Probably one of the first Batman comics I bought, actually.
It was good. It wasn't the story I thought it was.
What did you think it was?
I thought what I wish they had done, because it's kind of the red herring through most of the comic, is going back to the strategy scene where it's Bruce and Tommy
Yeah.
playing Stratego, I guess. I don't know what game they were playing.
Yeah, because it's not chess.
Yeah.
It's like chess.
I'm gonna go. Have you played Stratego?
I have not. I know of it, but I've never
Yeah,
played
it's like a Stratego Risk chess cross.
Yeah.
Between the three, where Tommy always wins because he can outsmart Bruce. And I wanted that to kind of come full circle, where we do learn at the end, and I don't know, I guess I forgot about this, that it was Riddler behind it all.
Which is a great reveal.
Yeah, it was a great reveal.
And that scene where Riddler's telling it all and Batman throws in, what is it?
The riddle.
The riddle,
It's
yeah.
like,
What time is it when an elephant sits on your fence?
time to get a new fence.
Yeah.
That's a bad one because everyone knows it.
Exactly.
And then, yeah, he's like, yeah, because the worst riddles are ones that everyone knows the answer to.
And Riddler has no response whatsoever.
Yeah. You see him almost like crack.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
He knows he's trapped.
Yeah. And then just gets punched in the face.
Yeah, well, because and that's the setup then for Red Hood later on. That's where Jason Todd's body goes missing, and we eventually figure out that all was going on. Also, the Jason Todd red herring I liked a lot.
That
too.
was, where they go over, like, it was Clayface, but Clayface couldn't mimic it perfectly, so the moves were based off of Nightwing, which we'd seen in an earlier page.
Oh, that's
which
right.
I thought was
the same moves.
Yeah, because that's something I wouldn't have got if I didn't read it all in one sitting. I read it out of spite. I want you to know that I read the entire thing in one sitting purely out of spite.
I'm glad you're able to enjoy yourself while
so
doing it all for
have to watch the show.
Spiteful reasons. But yeah, I mean that story is so good. I think Hush is a great villain.
Yeah,
it's fun to see so many different of his rogues all get drawn into it.
Yeah, so with the Tommy part, like, Tommy does make the kind of nod at the very beginning where we know that he knows Bruce's secret. Yeah. Where he's like, you should, make sure he's not going, he's not doing what he usually does tonight. Yeah. Whatever the line is. But then at the end, to learn that Riddler was the one that told him kind of underplayed Hush for me. Kind of lessened him as a villain a bit.
You wish Hush had been smart to figure it out on his own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that, like, I'm still fine with Riddler kind of being the one controlling it. Yeah. Because I think it would be great if Hush thought he was in charge, and then he's defeated, and you figure out Riddler was the one playing everyone the whole time.
Yeah, that would have been a cool little twist at the end.
Even though that is kind of the twist.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. No, it was great. The ending with Catwoman was great because I think that really plays into what
Tom King.
No, not what Maddie said. Who was
Ashley Clark.
What Ashley said with, like, she wanted Bruce and Selena to be together.
It's hard to see them not end up together in the end.
Well, even in this, like, you see why they can't, because he's always so concerned that she's either something's wrong with him, something's wrong with her, she's playing him. Yeah. There's so many factors that he can't get out of his head, so he can never trust.
I know. But it's so good.
Yeah. And then there was one line that really kind of, like, hit Batman to a T for me. And it's in Tommy's funeral. There's one bubble when he's not reading "Oh Captain, My Captain."
Yeah. Bruce loves his cliches.
Yeah. Where it says, Dr. Thomas Elliot, skilled surgeon, has saved many lives. Unfortunately, no one was skilled enough to save him. And that's so on point for Batman to show that he will never be good enough for himself. Right. Like, no matter how really hard he tries. Like, it's probably just a throwaway line for one of the writers, but it hit Batman right on the head. Yeah. Of, like, he will never be good enough.
My one of my favorite little moments is when he's fighting Superman, when Superman's being controlled by Poison Ivy and they're fighting. And I think it's in the thought bubble, the speech bubble, but he's, like, talking about how his whole strategy for fighting Superman. It's like, and I know that I'll be fine because deep down Clark is a good person, and deep down I'm not.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how you do a really good Batman Superman fight.
Yeah, because there's no like super suit. The only thing holding him back is he knows Clark won't go all out.
Yeah, it's like he knows that Clark, there's enough of him there that he won't use his heat vision because it'll like spark the line, like the power lines or whatever, like the gas lines under the city and blow everything up. Like he knows him enough to know how he can push it. But it's just, yeah, it's cool to see him having to improvise how to fight Superman.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's still so fucking prepared for it.
And even the very first scene where he's dealing with Killer Croc and he's planned it out to the second.
Yeah.
And Killer Croc comes out. He's like, I thought I had 10 seconds left.
Yeah.
Before Croc even was supposed to be here.
This is why, and again, it's very different in a comic versus in a film, but this is why I would love to see someone attempt to do a Batman movie, either in animated form or like live action, where he's narrating it, to do like full on noir style.
Yeah.
Because I think it would be interesting to see that side of him, that very calculating mathematical side, while he's doing
Do it
stuff.
like the Sherlock Holmes American movie.
But
yeah. not as like
less Guy Ritchie.
Less Guy Ritchie. Yeah.
But yeah, because the whole thing with narration is your narration should offer you something that what's happening on screen doesn't. It should be either a contrast or adds another layer. And I think a Batman narrating what's happening would do that. I love to see it. But.
So, quick question before we go to your plugs. So we know this is the next big movie. This will be next summer. Is the Hush movie?
Oh, the next animated film.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Their movies run about 2 hours.
No, they run like 87 minutes.
They run about an hour and a half.
I love how that's very specific. I like it's roughly 87.
Yeah. Do you think they can fit all this in that time frame? And if not, what do you think they could cut?
Oh, that's tough. Okay, I don't think they can fit it all in. I think that this, like, similar to the Dark Knight Returns, really you need to get all of it in there. So this, I think, should either be a multi-parter, like a two-parter, or even like an episodic sort of thing.
I would love episodic, where each episode is a character. Do it almost Game of Thrones style.
Okay, I don't know if I want to see it stretched out that much. I just I think if you break it up in like 3 parts, something like that, and basically do it like beat for beat. My whole thinking with the animated movies is the closer they adhere to the comics, kind of the better, with some modifications, of course, being necessary. What do you take out? I mean, you can't really take out the Selena thing.
No, that's way too important.
I guess you could take out Huntress.
Yeah.
But then someone else would have to find him out at the crash site.
It could be Catwoman. No, I guess Catwoman's running, though.
Yeah, Catwoman's running away from him. I think this is part of the problem.
Could be Gordon.
Could be Gordon.
Because Gordon kind of comes in out of nowhere.
Yeah. I think this is where you run into a lot of challenges with, especially a Batman story like this. That story is very, very tightly told and very efficient. And everything is pretty damn necessary. There's really not a lot. There's not a lot of padding in there.
You know who it should be? Because I didn't really know the character and he kind of came out of nowhere. Is you can cut Huntress and you can either cut Huntress or you can cut the tech guy.
Oh, Harold?
Yes, because I'd never met Harold before.
I knew of Harold because of the No Man's Land comics.
Got it.
He was more present around that time of Batman, like the mid-90s.
Okay.
Yeah, like they're gonna have to. I think there are things you have to simplify and cut down as necessary.
I think both those characters can kind of be merged. So either Harold gets shot in the end and he's the one that finds Batman, or Huntress gets shot in the end and she's still the one that finds Batman.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it'd be hard to have Harold pop up, especially at the end, because you would have to set him up at the beginning if it's a self-contained story.
Yeah.
But I am excited about it.
And Harley, I think as much as I love Harley, I don't think her scene was entirely necessary.
Oh, the opera scene?
Yeah.
But they have
it did lead it to the murder.
Yeah, the killing of Tommy, and then that amazing scene when Gordon stops him from killing the Joker.
Yeah, no, that 100% has to be in. I think you can just kind of combine it to just be Joker.
You probably could, yeah. Man, I really, really hope this isn't set in the New 52 verse with Jason.
It's going to be.
This needs Kevin Conroy. This needs Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
Like,
Mark Hamill usually comes back.
Sometimes. I mean, to be fair, John DiMaggio did a really good job in Under the Red Hood.
That's
But
very true.
he still sounds a bit like Bender. It doesn't quite work for me. But this needs at a minimum, it needs Kevin Conroy. It needs him.
Yeah. Because this is such a more experienced Batman.
Yeah. So this is my stance on this is
Yeah.
DC.
I'm very...
Hopefully you're listening after all the pleas we've given you. But if there's one that really sticks out, just make it Kevin Conroy. Yeah. Just do it.
Yeah. So it makes me very timid for the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
what have you been watching, reading, listening?
I'm about halfway through the first book in the Thrawn trilogy, the Star Wars Thrawn trilogy, so Heir to the Empire, which I should know what year it came out, but I want to say it came out in the 80s, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe mid to late 80s, early 90s. But what's interesting, so I mean, it's set like 5 years after the fall of the Empire, and Leia's pregnant, and Thrawn emerges as this person who's going to try and rebuild the Empire. But what's one of the most interesting things about it is reading something set in the Star Wars universe before the prequels.
Okay.
Because it reminds you how much new stuff they introduce in the prequels. So, like in the book, they just keep referring to Dark Jedi. They never use the term Sith.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that word didn't exist.
Yeah, and then the Dark Jedi that they're dealing with in the book, this is revealed pretty early on, so I'm not going to call it a spoiler, is a clone. The actual Jedi died during the Clone Wars. Possibly had...
You brought this up to me before.
Yeah,
yes,
I mentioned to you off air, but yeah, so... and I think he might have been dark at the time, and it like ties into Dagobah, whatever. But, you know, they make reference to a Jedi getting cloned, which implies that the Clone Wars was all about different, like, people getting cloned, and, like, more about ethics around cloning and what happens when this clone technology can go crazy, not just having an army of clones fighting an army of robots. And that other version sounds way, way, way more interesting. But it's really good. I'm liking it a lot.
Good.
Yeah, so that's something that I've been reading. And then, do we want to talk about Mission 6? This episode's run long. We may want to save it for next
we'll
week.
Save it for later.
Okay, yeah. But we both saw Mission 6, and I really loved it.
That's fine.
Yeah. I think that's it.
Yeah, that's everything.
I think that'll do it.
That's so much for thinking this is going to be a shorter episode.
I know, that never happens.
It never happens.
But if you do want to write to us and tell us what crazy random Batman Scarecrow father abuse thing
What is that
Cameron
story?
was thinking of.
God damn it. It's going to drive me nuts.
Yeah, if you can figure it out, write to us.
Was it the Batman? I feel like that's just always my scapegoat.
Scarecrow's not in the Batman.
Okay.
He was tied up.
Well, damn it.
Yeah, they kept him out of that show because of the movies.
Oh, that's right.
But yeah, you can reach us at Timm Talk Pod on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Gmail. I would say that Instagram's the best way to reach us because it's the thing we check the most. And then for longer questions, obviously, Gmail's a good way to go. If you want to find me, I am at Lordifer on Instagram and Twitter, but frankly, just Instagram. And then my other podcast, Gay It Forward, is at Gay It Forward Pod on Instagram and Facebook. I have different things for different things. It's just Gay It Forward. You'll find it. You'll find it linked on my personal Instagram stuff. So.
The artwork is a beautiful rainbow.
It is.
With an arrow.
With an arrow made by a great, great artist.
Yeah, okay, artist.
Pretty good artist. But that same artist has his own Instagram channel, Cameron.
I do.
What is it?
If you want to see my art, I'm hopefully going to have a new thing up this Wednesday. If it gets done. There's an art challenge going on that I'm trying to finish something for. You can find that at Cameron.Dexter if you want to see my face. You can find that at CamDexter_adventures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're back next week with more Batman Beyond.
Yeah.
Woo!
Maybe some Teen Titans.
Oh, yeah. We got to get that. We got to record that.
We'll figure it out.
Oh, damn it. I told you you could do your Teen Titans rant.
That's all right.
We got
We'll save it.
Too many tangents.
That's gonna be a long talk.
We'll save a lot of time for that.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.